MSL theme starring the Zergling Singers. Wasn't that beautiful? Man, that takes a breath right out of me. But we're moving on to the second set on Monte Cristo. I'll be doing Hydra and Flash. I have to say, Hydra kind of fell over in the first one. Except, down at the 5 o'clock position in purple is Hydra. That means up at the 10 o'clock position in whatever is Flash. Now, let me give you the stats for this particular map. This is a heavily Zerg favored map. Oh, I thought the Flash was going to pull out his ruler again, but nope. Just going straight for the water. Picari Sweat! The best drink on the face of the earth. Why drink good things when you can drink sweat, honestly? Was that the ruler? I think I saw the ruler. But okay, let's talk about the Zerg imbalance a little bit. I'm going to shock you with a number here, and then I'm going to explain and make it less shocking. But prepare to be shocked nonetheless. This is a Zerg-favored map. 83% in favor of Zerg. In fact, it's on your screen right now. Look at that. Although only 6 games have been played, but still 83%. So imbalanced. Come on, ban this map forever. But yeah, as I said, 6 ZVT games have been played. And Flash has not played any ZVT on this map, so it's a little bit hard to know what to expect from Flash on this. But here comes the drone, just moving out. Probably looking for cheesiness. He knows that Flash was known back in the day especially as the Cheddar Terran. Flash is not afraid to cheese. In fact, his usual strategy in TVZ is to kind of pair things off, to go for kind of a 14cc or equivalent standard econ push to get up his economy as quickly as possible. And on the other side, this is how he plays the series. He will go for a bunker rush or something insane to keep the Zerg scared, keep them from putting down a 12 hatch in every game. And that's how he plowed through everyone in the Ever OSL in 2009. A beautiful, beautiful just path of destruction from Flash in that OSL. I think he lost to a Zerg once in that OSL, and I think it was once. Might have been more than once, but God, it was insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, it was once, because he faced Calm in the semifinals, and that was just one loss. And he faced pretty much all Zerg on his way to the top. And that is when Flash first impressed me. I mean, I'd been pretty impressed by Flash before that. I knew he was a fantastic player, but that was just, I can't even describe just how dominant he was during that point in time. And he's still dominant. That's what's so crazy, and that's why Koreans have labeled Flash as a bonjour, which basically means master of StarCraft, like Savior was, like I Love UUV was. He's been labeled that, and I think he is he's the only one deserving of that title at this stage in the game. People like to whine on message boards, like, Jaedong should be considered bonjour. If Flash gets it, then Jaedong... No. No. Jaedong is great. He is very, very good, but he has never had the type of dominance that Flash has had for these past couple of years. Never. There is no one as good as Flash right now. Sorry, Hydra. It's going to be an uphill battle, buddy. But it can be done. Remember Effort versus Flash in the final? I do. And Effort does. That's why it came back. Alright. Getting back to what I was originally talking about, man, that was quite a tangent. But the second base is coming up for Flash. There are a couple of bases coming down for Hydra. This is a bit unusual to be double expanding like this, but it will pay off, I think. I think it'll definitely pay off. Just, he knows that Flash is so well known for this, just getting to econ, getting to second base as quickly as he possibly can. So Hydra will be focused mainly on defense for the middle parts of this game. Defending his brand new base. He threw one way up at the 2 o'clock position, trying to keep Flash from scouting it. But as I said, 83% Zerg favor, but it doesn't mean anything because there's only 6 games. Hydra has a 2-win, 0-loss record on this map. In fact, neither of these guys have lost on this map before. Flash also has a 2-win, 0-loss record, but he has not faced a Zerg, so it's a little bit difficult to tell how he's going to deal with Hydra on this Zerg favored map. But Hydra's scouting behind the natural expansion I see for Flash. This map is pretty weird. Actually, it's very weird. It has those breakable temples in the middle, about 3 breakable temples. I actually don't know how many stacks are on those temples, if they do have stacks. I'm used to maps like Medusa, where you had, I think it was 10 stacked temples to keep you outside of the base. That's to keep units from breaking them early and running by. But splash units like Firebats and Lurkers and Archons can take them down pretty easily, because you can splash all the temples at once. But Hydra is snuck in here with a single Zergling. That's not going to get anything done. But he is going to be able to see that scan coming up, knowing that he's taking to that, and he's preparing with some static defense up at the 2 o'clock position. It should be in time. 3 sunken colonies on the high ground, and that should be fine. Hydra is going to be fine with his economy for the time being. He's still going to have to put down a lot more sunken colonies, because Flash is definitely not shy about pushing his luck, running through, trying to get a nice marine arc, as you saw in the last game against Lurkers. He will do that against sunken colonies as well. The factory coming up already for Flash, working on his +1 upgrade for those Marines, which might have actually just popped up. Didn't actually see, but we're going to find out soon. But Hydra does still have that Overlord just floating around, going to see the exact amount of troops. I'm starting to see why this map is considered Zerg imbalanced, because there are a lot of scouting advantages, it seems. High ground advantages, too, for the Zerg player. It looks like Hydra is trying to make full use of that. But there's a Firebat joining the Marines that are kind of hovering around the number 2 base. 2 o'clock. Eventually get something with the number 2 in there that actually made sense. But Flash, okay, the Queen's Nest coming up now, so we're going straight into his hive. And the Hydralist in as well, so it's going to be kind of a lurker. And yeah, buddy, that is excellent. I think he's trying to point out that he looks like somebody. But, man, you don't look like anyone that I've ever seen. Jerk. So the Mutalisk coming in now, going to try to snipe some SCVs, get something done. But I'd say that Flash is going to be pretty good as far as this goes. He has a nice little big open area that he can run around with his Medic Marines. Plus, he has a couple of turrets just popping up, which should keep these Mutalisks at bay for the time being. But here comes the 3rd Extractor now to support this Hive tech. So, yeah, teching very quickly, Hydra is, talking like Yoda again, but more turrets, a lot of turrets at this natural expansion. That's really the base that I could tell Flash was anticipating Hydra going for first. Just has so many turrets there, and Hydra still pushing his luck, still trying to get in there and take down an SCV. I might not want to rely on that too long. Sniping of another SCV, and he's getting some nice economic harassment there, but he's going to lose, or at least lose a lot of health on that big grouping of Mutalisks, which will make it more difficult to defend. But at this point, I think that Hydra should probably be worrying about his 4th base. Since he is teching up the Hive so quickly, he's going to need a lot of gas to support whatever he goes for, whether it be Defilers or Ultralisks, or Greater Spire and Guardians or something ridiculous. And since he went for a Mutalisk opening, he could definitely go for Guardians on this map. I think this would be a good map for it. But sniping of another SCV at the natural expansion, but still not quite committing fully to going in there because he wants to regenerate a little bit of energy. Greater Spire, yes! So we are going to see, wow, and the Defiler round coming at the same time. So we are going to see Guardians. Man, that might be the first time I've ever called Guardians in a game. Yay me! I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that one. But the 4th base is coming down now for Hydra, down at kind of a hidden location. I think the Flash will most likely be anticipating all of Hydra's bases will be on the right side of the map. Might not expect that 8 o'clock position to come up. And I don't think he's going to expect Guardians anytime soon. But Flash fighting back these Mutalisks, and the Science Vessel is out, so the Science Vessel could get and radiate on the Mutalisk clump and make it more difficult for, whittle down the Mutalisk count at least to keep a lot of Guardians from coming up. So Hydra might actually have to abandon his Guardian plan, since Flash is working his way out into the map right now, and at this point, Hydra needs some troops, needs a lot of troops, and he needs active troops, not troops inside of cocoons, to defend his base up here. But I think I saw some tanks from Flash moving out as well. It might be just, on a radiate. Oh, man. Oh, Mutalisk. It took a long time to get those Mutalisks out of there. And now Flash knows about this because he saw the cocoons coming up. So he knows he has a limited window of time to push up into this base, but it looks like Flash is going to try to do it. He's going to try his best to do it. He does have the science vessels getting the vision of the high ground. It looks like Hydra is kind of snuck into his resupply line, so he's pretty much going to have to do this with these troops here outside. Are these Guardians going to be able to do anything? They are on the kind of a cliffed area, but they have to back off, keep away from the irradiates too. But there's no more static defense up at this 2 o'clock base. Another lurker going down for Flash. The Nidus Canal though. Nidus Canal. Now I saw the Defiler Den earlier, so if a Defiler does come into play, I think that Hydra might be able to defend this base up at the 2 o'clock, but it's going to be very, very close. 2 more lurkers going down, I think. But man, the Hydra's going to have to push through the Nidus Canal. The Guardians are actually working. It's very rare to see Guardians actually working, but no, a Wraith coming in. Flash, as soon as he saw the Guardians, I think he was pumping a Wraith. Now the Wraith going to clean up those Guardians eventually. It's going to take a little bit longer, but wow. Hydra has defended for the time being up here. Oh, the defensive matrix of the tank to keep it away from the Guardians long enough for the Wraith to take down the Guardians. So the tank does go down, though, and Flash trying to push up here with his remaining troops. Flash is dead set on taking down this base. It's going to get much more difficult if he can't take out that Nidus Canal. So he got to work his way down to the Nidus. No, the Dark Swarm. And the Dark Swarm should be enough to defend this base now, as long as he uses the Dark Swarm effectively. But now Flash is sneaking back here, trying to take out as many drones as he possibly can. And snipe that Defiler. He might have been able to snipe that Defiler. I saw that Defiler was just kind of out there in no man's land. Nope, the Defiler is safe. And 2 Dark Swarms protect this base. And Flash finally letting off the pressure. So Hydra defended that base. And he's getting up his 4th base at the same time. So some excellent play from him. Barely held it, though. But going for Guardians, turns out, was a very good thing to do. Because I don't think he would have been able to do that with just lurkers. As Flash was looking up the high ground with those siege tanks, he would have seized them all, killed them all, and just marched right in with no resistance whatsoever. So the Guardians actually did help defend that 2 o'clock base. I know in most games, when you see Guardians, you're like, wow, that player's going to lose. But every once in a while, it does work out. And now Flash, I don't even know if I think he does know about the 8 o'clock position now. Maybe he scanned it because he's working down there with a Wraith. Maybe going to do that, but now he has drop ships in play, going for some dropped Marines. 3 drop ships, didn't even see that 3rd one there for a second, but this is going to be a huge drop from Flash. If he's not scouted, there's obviously a lot of Overlords in the map. There's some Zerglings running around that could spot. Yeah, the Overlord, I think, spotted the dropships. If Hydra was paying attention, yeah, I think he was coming in with Scourge, trying to chase these dropships down with Scourge, but no, Flash was able to take those down. So it's going to take away the vision, at least. Oh, Scourge taking out one of the dropships. Excellent play from Hydra to take down part of that threat. But he's going to have to intercept these other troops, which shouldn't be that hard to do here. Oh, the Scourge almost landing on one of those dropships. Finally taking it down, but not before some troops were dropped. But now the troops being cleaned up. That was excellent play from Hydra, keeping kind of a doom drop, sort of, from Flash, from dropping inside of his main or anything like that. 3 dropships. That is an insane drop. But now Flash coming in with another dropship. I think he had 2 starports, and he was using them just for dropships. Kind of bypassed his science vessels for a while to get these drops on, but these drops just really not getting anything. Then the Lurker, not even burrowing. What? The Lurker just kind of standing there in front of the Defiler. What the hell, Hydra? Hydra was not even paying attention down here. Lost way more troops than he needed to. Lost all the Zerglings that were running in. But he finally cleaned that up with no help from the Lurker. He was watching TV. I guess he had like an iPhone or something. He's watching TV on his. Everybody loves Raymond. But the Ultralisk Cavern coming up now for Hydra, and I think he can support it. Now that he does have these 4 bases that have been quite harassed, but they all have not assimilators, but extractors, so they should be able to support the Ultras, at least until he can get a 5th base. But that's going to be increasingly difficult to do. I think that Flash has already taken his 3rd. It's hard to see the mini-map on the videos, as I'm sure you can back me up on, looking down there and squinting. There's some blue there, but it might be the map. The map is blue, so this is very, very complicated. But 3 science vessels that I see accompanying those Marines, but now we're going to see if Ultralisks start to pop for Hydra. And like I said, he has 4 bases, so I think he could overwhelm Flash soon if he plays his cards right. Protects his units. Of course, he can't just lose bits and bits of units. Finally going for the 5th base now. And Hydra is coming in with a kind of a small fleet of Scourge, looking for those science vessels, I believe. Flash scouts it, takes down the Scourge. And Flash is trying to work his way down and take out that 8 o'clock position, but it is going to be extremely difficult. There's a Defiler there to get the Dark Swarm, and it'll be able to consume some Zerglings and protect that pretty easily. So I think the Flash will have to back off and come up with another plan. Maybe another drop. Oh, Scourge! Lazy Scourge, but they get the job done anyway. Just standing there. The Scourge are like, hey, I got an idea. Let's just wait here for a dropship to hit us. Excellent. Nice strategy, Hydra. Worked out fantastically, but now Flash is moving his way down. Plenty of barracks still going for Flash, and I think he was working on the ground upgrade for his tanks. So Flash will definitely need tanks to tackle the 8 o'clock position. Since it is on the high ground, there are lurkers on the high ground, he's not going to be able to do it without tanks. So as soon as he brings the tanks in with the siege, I think he'll be able to actually be a threat down at the 8 o'clock. Not to mention you'll need a science vessel there as well, but taking out this base very early, I believe that hatchery did come up as well. Yeah, it did, since the larvae were morphing into eggs. Flash finds it, takes it down, so that is a loss for Hydra, but he is saving up minerals. I can tell he's saving up minerals for Ultralisks, which will pop soon. Saving up the gas, saving up the minerals, a very demanding unit. So you want to have about 5 bases going to continuously pump Ultras. I mean, he'll be able to do it from these 4 bases for a little while, but he'll just be overwhelmed by Flash if he can't take his 5th base. Oh, a lot of lazy units in this game. Starting off with a Lurker. I think they all just got iPhones or something. They're going to town. Watching The Dark Knight. I can't believe that Heath Ledger is dead. But the Zerglings running out. An awful lot of science vessels. Hydra hasn't taken down nearly enough science vessels in this game, so I think that should be his #1 priority now, is taking out science vessels, because I saw 6, and a couple more from the main are working their way back into the middle of the map. So yeah, science vessels are going to be a pain in Hydra's butt. This is going to be very bad, not to mention the huge line of tanks that are working their way down to the 8 o'clock position. Flash is just going to unsiege, work his way down to that 8 o'clock slowly but surely. I think he took down the 3 o'clock position as well. I think Hydra was trying to put that down again, but got denied. But here comes the Defiler, trying to protect the 8 o'clock as long as possible, waiting for the right amount of minerals and gas to get out those Ultralisks, because that's what he desperately needs at this point, is Ultras, heavy Ultras to run out there and defend these bases. But oh, the eraser trick from Flash, killing all the drones. The drones didn't even go through the Nidus Canal or anything. They just waited to die, basically. So Hydra lost a lot of economy down at that 8 o'clock position. I think Flash was saying, well, if I can't push through the 8 o'clock yet, might as well do something there. And Flash is preparing to take the 8 o'clock for himself. He's building a command center there, just preparing to take that 8 o'clock. Thinking 12 steps ahead, and now he's going to work his way down and take this by force. Now he's got to worry about the Defilers, but he really doesn't have to worry about much else, because Hydra has not pumped Ultralisks yet. He's still saving up for those Ultralisks. And who knows if the Ultralisk will be able to pop in time to make any difference in this game, because there's absolutely nothing that Hydra can do about this 8 o'clock position now unless he runs through with a Defiler. Oh, he's going for a drop, actually, so he could have actually pumped the Ultralisk that I haven't seen, because he's going for a drop. Flash anticipating this with lots of turrets, losing a bunch of... Yeah, there are Ultralisks in this game now, but... Oh, man, a lot of Overlords going down at the front before they were able to drop their payloads. Could have been 2 Ultras in each of those. Oh, yikes. So that could have been a much stronger drop than it was, but at the same time, Hydra is getting a little bit of harassment done with Zerglings at the natural expansion, I believe. Yes, at the natural expansion, so he is getting a lot of damage done. Going to be cleaned up eventually, but he has been able to do some harassment, maybe not enough to justify the cost of those Ultras, but that was a pretty good game plan from him. I don't think he was anticipating that many turrets being up, but Flash was. Flash always builds 500,000 turrets in games against Zerg. That is his trademark. So now taking down the 8 o'clock position. The 8 o'clock position is dead, and Hydra does not have a replacement for that base yet, unless he has the 3 o'clock position. I actually can't tell from the minimap if he does have that, but now he's rushing into Flash's 3rd base, so Flash is actually on kind of low mining, since he's not able to mine from his 3rd base. He got harassed at his natural expansion, and he's having to come in here and clean up inside of his main. So Hydra is doing a pretty good job of keeping Flash stretched thin, but Flash is excellent at dealing with these kind of multiple defense. He is definitely not going to be scared or nervous. He's just going to send the right amount of units to the right places to clean everything up, and I think he's pretty much cleaned everything up. But there's a Scourge coming in. Late Scourge, though, trying to catch up with these science vessels. Finally, Hydra is doing something about the science vessels. But I don't know what Flash is doing. He's coming in here trying to get the eraser trick or something. I don't know what Flash was thinking, throwing all of his science vessels in. Maybe he's thinking, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm alright. I'll just send all my science vessels in. I'm going to win anyways. But now the Ultralists are the only thing holding this high ground, and Flash is trying to micro around with these tanks, land the tank shots on the Ultras. Oh man, another eraser trick, and I don't even think Hydra knew about this. He's probably going to know about it soon once he sees that he has no drones up at the 2 o'clock position, but another nice eraser trick. Excellent harassment from Flash, and that's going to quash this build from Hydra for even a longer period of time. He's saying, well, you want to support Ultras? Try doing it with no drones, buddy. But 2 Ultras out that I see, just kind of dancing around there, not really able to do anything. Now that Flash has grouped up such a large tank army, look at all those tanks. We're going to work his way in, siege, and be able to take down every Ultra with basically just his tanks. He's coming in here, unsieged tank, just kind of nipping at the buds of those Ultras, trying to move in there and take down another base. Shouldn't be that hard now for Flash, actually. Might be a little bit difficult to deal with this harassment, but Flash is so quick, as you can tell. He's going on the defensive, going on the offensive, sorry, and he was able to do that defense at the same time. Still hasn't cleaned up these Zerglings, but he did float off. I got most of his SCVs out of danger, and he was able to take down the 3 o'clock position for the 3rd time. I think it was a 3rd, might have been the 4th, actually. Now, the Firebat cleaning up these Zerglings. That Firebat was a hero, no doubt. And now, yeah, Hydra is definitely running out of time. He does still have his Ultralisk tech. Obviously, still has some Ultras out there, not quite focused. But, of course, those Ultras won't be able to take down this many tanks anyway. So, Hydra, all he can do right now is run and hope that he can take another base without Flash taking it down again. But yeah, Hydra doesn't really have any options. He hasn't established a replacement 4th base or his 5th base that he would need to support the Ultras, so things are not looking very good for Hydra. He has gotten some harassment done, obviously, and he's going for another drop that I see with 2 Overlords. Of course, he doesn't have nearly as many turrets to deal with this time as he did last time. That was a brilliant anticipated attack. Well, anticipated defense from Flash to build that many turrets at that exact spot where Hydra just snuck in with those Overlords. Yeah, it's kind of remarkable. You have to do something different against Flash. You have to surprise Flash. I mean, that's the big advantage of a Zerg, is being able to surprise your opponent with tech switches, coming in all different directions with drops. And when you play as predictably as Hydra is doing here, that was a very predictable drop. Flash knew exactly where Hydra would drop, the path of least resistance, into his base. He said, this looks like the path of least resistance. I'm going to build 20 turrets here. Kaboom! There you go. That's all he had to do. And all the Hydra had to do was come in from a sneakier position, but he chose not to do so. So he got screwed, basically. And now we're seeing the first-person perspective of Flash coming in with all of his science vessels yet again, irradiating one Defiler and preparing another base. Even though there is a lurker there, he is not worried about that. That's probably the lazy lurker from earlier, who is still watching Everybody Loves Raymond on his iPhone. Finally taking out some more science vessels, though. Hydra has done a pretty good job catching up with taking down the science vessels, but I'd say it's a little bit too late at this point. Since he has 3 bases, 2 of them are mining. Well, one of them I think is barely mining. And now we're getting some nice harassment drops from Hydra, but he really could have done this a lot earlier. I think he tried to do it earlier, obviously with that big Doom drop. He probably should have spread out that Doom drop into several little mini Doomlet drops. Doom drops. Like gumdrops. But here comes Hydra, losing everything. And once you lose all your ultras like this easily, look at that, one single Marine, pop, headshot, boom, headshot. That was a Rainer brother right there. And there's one extractor down at the 8 o'clock position, just trying to mock Flash. He's like, you can't have my gas. You can have my gas when you pry it from my cold, dead phalanges. Yeah, I don't think Zerg got fingers. But here comes Flash over to the 3 o'clock position. Man, that 3 o'clock is just an unfortunate place to build a base. I'd say this is at least the 4th time this base has gone down, if not the 5th. Easily taken down yet again. Goodbye, hatchery. I'm starting to see why Hydra chose the 8 o'clock position for his 4th base earlier now. A lot easier to defend from that high ground area. This, not so easy to defend. And now Flash, he has one single SCV down there, not even worrying about the extractor at the moment, but he hates that extractor. Get out of here, you jerk extractor. And now let's see. Hydra, I think this is pretty much his last hurrah. All he has are Zerglings, and he might have a Defiler in the mix, but I don't see it yet, and he's not able to get even close to these tanks to kind of drag the Zerglings in, use Zergling bombs, basically, to make the tanks attack themselves. So that's not working out too well. A little bit more harassment from Hydra inside of this main, but I think that Hydra is hanging on by a thread from a very strong opening. That was a very strong opening from Hydra. I'm not sure how it fell apart for him so quickly. But yeah, just not able to get it done with that ultraless tech switch. Probably could have hung on a little bit longer. I'm rusty. Could have hung on a little bit longer with kind of a modified lurker build. Maybe Hydra Lurker, which is my favorite build. I love Hydra Lurker. But here comes another drop, sort of a Doom drop. It's a Doom drop in the sense that this is basically all the troops that Hydra has. Now he's going to drop them inside the main, try to kill those production buildings. If he can cut off the production, cut off the neck of the beast, so to speak, he might be able to get back into this game a little bit. But now Flash floating off everything, including his 2 starports. That's going to limit his science vessel production for a while as he moves in with troops to defend himself. If he moves in with troops to defend himself. Yeah, he is moving in with some Firebats. Firebats will be able to clean this up because this troop is mostly Zerglings. So the Firebats coming in, killing the Defiler, everything under the Dark Swarm. Because Firebats cannot. Oh, look at that D-Matrix Firebat leading the way, killing all of the Zerglings remaining inside of this main. And now that Flash has taken the 8 o'clock position for himself, I really don't see any chance for Hydra to get back in this game. He just hasn't been able to establish a base. Again, he's trying to take the 3 o'clock again, of course. 5th or 6th time is the charm. I'm sure he'll be able to... Oh, never mind. GG from Hydra for the 2nd set. Flash is smiling already. Look at Flash. He's like, yeah, excellent. I'm going to win. Flash, you still have one more game to win, buddy. A little bit overconfident there. Okay, let's move on to the 3rd set with very happy Flash.